Alright, how's everybody doing? This is the Comic Samurai. I want to welcome you to my next video, and tonight we're going to be doing another Let's Rank challenge. This is where we look at a run on a series and assign every cover a letter grade from A to F, and then pick our favorite and award it that special S tier ranking. And tonight we're going to be looking at Jim Lee's epic run on Superman from 2004. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First up, we got this issue number 204, and Jim Lee kicked it off with a great image of the Man of Steel, standing tall on a rooftop in Metropolis there. I love that image. Usually you see Batman standing on a gargoyle there, but this is the Man of Steel here looking over his domain. It's a powerful image. I love the colors. They started replicating like solar flares and doing strange experimentations with the color. It didn't bother me on this one. It actually kind of increased the appeal for me. I love this cover, and I'm giving this one an A. Jim Lee came out swinging here, just like he did in his Batman Hush run. Next up, we got issue number 205, and this image is very reminiscent of the Matrix. It looks like Neo stopping the bullets in mid-air. They've got all these missiles coming in, but look at how they even replicated like those ripples behind the bullet, leaving like a sonic trail in the air there. Just a total Matrix ripoff. I wonder why they did that. Probably just to capitalize in that image, letting you know that Superman is kind of like a savior, like Neo was. In any event, it does drop that one down. I never like it when they get on the bandwagon of something really popular there. I wish they would have come up with a unique take on it. And this one drops down to a B for me. Alright, I wanted to show this one real quick. This is a Michael Turner variant cover for that issue number 205. And I just had to show this one because this is probably in my top 3 Superman covers of all time. Michael Turner nailed it on this one. I love the colors, the perspective, his take on the Man of Steel. But we're not going to let this one participate in the challenge. Next up, we got issue number 206. And they wanted to introduce a villain that would be intimidating here. And they had this figure. But those claw-like fingers just didn't really work for me. There's not a blade on Earth that could hurt Superman. And the coloring in the background is beautiful with that red, but it makes his cape blend in. And that was a real dynamic part of this image. And I hate to point it out, but they did miss a huge opportunity. They could have had this villain interacting with the trade dress and like destroying it. That would have been a double take on the symbolism of the villain fighting Superman. This one, I hate to do it, but it drops down to a C from me. This is about the time period when I stopped buying everything that Jim Lee did. I started being a little more picky because of issues like this, issue number 207. They've got this figure in the background there that's almost hidden by the trade dress there. They've got this big hand in the foreground, which I'm usually a sucker for hand covers, but this one, it's like a fist made inside, and then these claws on the outside. And that was just kind of a ripoff from like Rip Claw or Wolverine, trying to capitalize that. And again, I go back to the blades. There's not a blade that can even intimidate Superman. It's got to be something more. These green mists down here. It is an action pose, and it's all right. But man, Jim Lee, something about his magic was missing on this series. I am going to give that one a B. Next up, we got issue number 208. And I really do like this image of the JLA in the background there. You do get to see Jim Lee's take on John Stewart, the Green Lantern, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the Martian Manhunter. I love that. But look at this image of Superman. Whenever they have like a beaten down superhero figure, I never like that. I want my superheroes to be always fighting and striving to win. And this one just looks kind of like a defeated Superman here. They tried some things with the coloring there, but this one was just getting a little too slick. I miss Jim Lee's rough edges. I am going to give this one a B, though, because I love the images of the Justice League. I just wish they would have colored them a little brighter and made them a little bit more of the focus on this one. This one's getting a B-. Next up, we got issue number 209, and this one fell pretty flat for me. Superman using his heat vision to melt something, and it's just an object there. It's not telling a story. This one doesn't compel me to open it very much. I do like that his cape is like being blown up here, but this is just a pretty uninteresting image for me. They should have made his heat vision a little more dramatic, a little more epic, something going on, something happening there. That wash of red here, this one didn't work for me, and giving this one a D. Alright, moving on, we got issue number 210, and I do like this one. It's a little more dramatic. You've got Wonder Woman holding a fallen Superman here, and her lasso has him bound there, and she's holding a sword in a precarious position there. I like that. The background is dynamic, the lighting with that stark white there, and a fallen Superman. I like this issue, and I'm giving it a B. Alright, next up we got issue number 211. Now we're back to an action cover here. Superman versus Wonder Woman. You've got to open this one up and read it. Now we're getting into it. Why are they fighting? Is somebody under a villain's control? What's their motivations? The background is compelling. That moment of impact there, their body language. Jim Lee came back on this one, and he gets an A. Alright, next up we got issue number 212, and he went from that beauty to this one, and I think they're opposite ends of the spectrum. I had to check this twice to see if it was a Jim Lee image. This one fell really flat for me. That black image of Superman there, illuminated by the red, like he's getting hit by lightning or something. I don't know, you can't even hardly make out that that is Superman there. I don't like much about this one, and I've given this one an F. Next up, we got issue number 213 here, and they wanted to introduce that General Zod as kind of a compelling, intimidating figure there, and he's got this beast-like creature on a chain there. Look at how the background there, it's just a digital image of coloring there. There's nothing else going on. This is a very uninspired cover for me. I never like it when they feature a villain. Even though this is a kind of a fresh take on that General Zod, it did not work for me. I can't give this thing anything higher than a D. And the only reason it's not getting an F is because it could have been a lot worse. Next up, we got issue number 214 here. Now we've got a battle. Superman using his heat vision and his punching. I always thought his heat vision and his freezing breath were underutilized, so I like seeing his heat vision at least being used here. He is pummeling a villain there, and this is a Superman image that I can get behind, and I'm giving it a B. Alright, lastly we got issue number 215, the big showdown between General Zod and Superman here. And we've got an explosion from underneath, and I know I'm going to ruffle a lot of feathers by saying this, but that General Zod version did not interest me at all. I didn't think he was a threat. I didn't like how it was handled. I usually like that Brian Azzarello writing, but it didn't pair very well with Jim Lee's art, I didn't think. And something about Superman's proportions here. It just looks like he's got this really wide torso and these short legs. It's kind of reminiscent of how Kurt Swan used to draw Superman. This one didn't do much for me, and I'm giving it a C. Alright, well now that we've got all of these ranked, let's go ahead and take a look at the ones in the A tier, and we'll pick our favorites. Alright, we've got this first one that he kicked it off with, and this Superman-Wonder Woman battle here. Alright, well let's take a look at them. And which one of these do I prefer? You know what, there's just a lot more going on with this one. I like the colors on this one better, and I like how Wonder Woman is kind of shielding his blow with her bracelets. And Wonder Woman is kind of a magical figure. She's got that magical lasso and those bracelets and tiara, and that's the X factor that you need, the unknown, the wild card when you go up against Superman. There's no physical thing or reality-based thing that can beat Superman. He's beat the strongest that there is. So you have to introduce something like magic or the fifth dimension or time travel or something to take down the Man of Steel. So at least there's a chance here. I like that battle. It is a fun one. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. These were a lot of fun. Let me know if there's any titles, characters, artists, writers, or runs you want me to review. Thanks again and have a great night.